Okay, we are live.
Hey guys and gals, this is Archie Bear with Taylor Grosso, and we are going to do a Walt's Fault. And we are going to focus on Galaxy's Edge because today is the first day, the first official day for the general public to enter the new section of the park. So, hey Taylor, what's up?
Hey Art, how much are you wishing you're at Galaxy's Edge instead of here right now?
I don't know. When we first looked at this footage this morning, I think Taylor and I wanted to be every place for once, every place but Hack Shack Studios. It looks really cool. There's been a lot of great footage. People have been posting around, and so we weren't going to do this, but we were too inspired to not do this. It's if you're a Star Wars fan, I cannot see you not being moved by this place. I've heard some people be a little snarky about it, but man, they are really, really nitpicking because all the footage that we've seen, all the people we've seen, listened to talking about it and things like that, it looks like it's nothing short of amazing. How do you feel, Taylor?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy how quickly people are uploading really high quality videos and stuff, like unofficial people. It's been really interesting, and if you guys are tuning in live right now with us, like Muttman is, let us know how you feel about this, because I will be reading your chat and we'll be discussing with you your thoughts on Galaxy's Edge. Art, does it look like somebody's in this turret right here? Is that Chewie?
I don't know. Maybe the cockpit looks like it's lit up though, for sure. But this looks like the image that you guys are seeing right now is, I believe, was it Thursday night that they had a big grand premiere. It was earlier this week, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. And so they had a big ceremony. So they had Bob Iger, and Bob Iger came out. He's the head president of Disney. Came out and introduced George Lucas, Mark Hamill, Billy D. Williams, and Harrison Ford. And I guess this is the equivalence of smashing a bottle of champagne on an ocean liner for its maiden voyage. So I believe that's what this is. Just look at the fireworks, man. Like, this is insane. I just feel like I'm an Ewok, because didn't they have fireworks at the end?
That's right.
Nub nub.
This is a great shot. I don't know who took it because there's no photography credit, but it's an amazing shot.
Look at everybody in the crowd has their cameras and they're taking pictures.
I wish we were there taking pictures and they did this.
Yeah, well, I do believe, Taylor, if we keep up with this Walt's Fault, we will become one of the premier Disney content providers.
Especially when we get in there.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking this time next year we'll be invited to all this stuff. Yeah. Because sometimes those guys, like different YouTubers, get invited the day before.
Keep us in mind, Disney. We've said nothing but good things about you.
Yes, and I can't see how anybody could complain about this new Galaxy's Edge, Black Spire Outpost.
But we did see one person kind of complaining.
Yeah, we don't need to get into her YouTube. My gosh, man. What were her complaints? Her complaints was that the blue milk was slimy.
Which milk is.
Yeah, and then she said that she ran her hand across like this stained, kind of dirty looking, what would you call that, container that they ship things in. And then she ran her hand along it, and then she showed it to the camera and goes, see, this isn't really that authentic. It isn't covered in dirt and muck. This is just fake. And then she said the ground should be all dirt and everything. And I'm thinking, it is an amusement park. Like, this is as immersive as humanly possible. But they do have to clean these things, and they do have to take care of them. So they're going to make it as authentic as they can with billions of people walking through there daily. Can you imagine if they just had dirt?
Yeah, like, let's not have unreasonable expectations because they're never going to be met. Like, you can't make a complaint like that. It's just unreasonable.
Okay, well, let's just entertain her criticism for just a moment. I don't want to get derailed here. But a lot of you guys have dogs. Outdoor dogs. dogs will run up and down a path, like say from the house to the gate when people come, right? They'll bark. There's a trench where your dog has run from one point to the other. When our dog was around, there were trenches all over the place where she constantly would run. So if you had a dirt bottom, Taylor, there are millions and millions of people that are going to go through this, yearly. They would have trenches, like from where all the people are walking. They would have to bring dirt in and backfill the space
and wet it down. It'd be a mess. Muttman says some people are never going to be happy.
It's nuts. You want to get into the ceremony just to give some people some context to this amazing new park?
Yeah, real quick, Big Daddy Soybeam says the fact that it's only sequel era stuff makes it pretty crappy in my opinion. Well, it's not really. Isn't it kind of set in its own time frame, Art? Like they use the sequel stuff, but it's kind of in its own Star Wars era.
Yeah, it's I guess just as much as the new movies refer to the old, this will have the same. Because obviously, the Millennium Falcon predates the new movies. There's mention of Vader. There's, even Yoda's in the new movies. So, and Chewbacca. So, I mean, it's all built off of the old. Mm-hmm. So, lightsabers, the whole world is built on the original 3 movies. So, it is tied into that. I don't think it's exclusively, like you said, Taylor, tied into the new movies. I think the new movies will have those characters. But, I mean, just to be honest and fair, if you were building a new park, I don't know why you wouldn't include, the new Star Wars movies or that mythology into it.
And they're going to talk about it while it's relevant, but eventually those movies are going to be old because, like it or not, Disney's going to keep making Star Wars movies, for better or worse, and they're gonna make this a park where they can plug and play, I think, whatever is new and relevant at the time.
Yeah, so they can build on the new. The old already exists. So, I don't know. I think it's... If you're going to sustain and have relevance, I think, bringing new ideas into it, even though, there is kind of a mixed... feelings about Star Wars, but I heard somebody say this and I thought it was a pretty good observation where they said there are people that watch the Phantom Menace, that trilogy, what is that? The first 3, 1, 2, and 3. And those are their favorite Star Wars movies. They look at the original 3 and they're like, it pales in comparison to them because that's not what their Star Wars movies were. And as sad and as hard as it is to believe at this moment in time, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 15 years, 20 years, people will look back on these ones fondly as well. So I don't know. I read a quote in Vanity Fair from, I know I'm a little bit late on the Star Wars stuff, but from Kathleen Kennedy. And I'm just going to say this just to be negative for 1 minute. And I don't even know if this is negative. It's just an observation that I really don't think that, based on that interview alone, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't grasp Star Wars at all. Mm-hmm. And we were going to talk about this between Taylor and I before we went on, so I didn't have a chance, so I'm just going to throw this at Taylor here, and then we can get into the fun. But she said, and I'm basically paraphrasing, that Star Wars of the old is not Star Wars of the new because morality has changed, because a contemporary audience is basically, what she was saying, is less gullible, less simple-minded. She referred to as the old Star Wars as being very black and white, being very just
Remastered.
Good against... Ooh, yes, remastered. Yeah, very simple in tone, and that the new Star Wars, because of a contemporary audience, is more complex because, black and white doesn't really exist in the real world, and that basically the shades of gray are more realistic and reflect more of a contemporary mindset. Well, pardon my French, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say something really, really mean, but Kathleen Kennedy couldn't be more wrong because she's trying to make 1977 seem like it's such a long forgotten decade, and that everybody back then was so simple, and all media was all about just like good versus evil, and there's no shades of gray. The reason historically, Kathleen Kennedy, you should read your own history and you should do some of your own research. The reason Star Wars worked in that time in 1977 is because it wasn't like those other movies of the time, meaning not just the special effects, not just the fantasy, not just all those things that we know and love, but because tonally that movie was different. Because that movie came out the time of Dirty Harry, Blood Wish, or what was it? Death Wish. All those movies, like even all those tragedy movies, like what was it? The Titanic one. What was that one called? Where the ship flips over, and then there was Towering Inferno and Earthquake. There were a lot of like really dour, like bleak type of movies that were coming out at the time. So historically speaking, Star Wars came out, and it was kind of a ray of sunshine because the good and bad struggle was very clear. It was very clean cut. And at the end of the movie, it gave you a very good sense that evil was that good that was triumphed over evil, and that evil was put in its place. And for a 2-hour adventure, watching that movie, it actually made you feel good. Instead of going out and scratching your head and thinking like the world is a horrible place, you actually were kind of inspired, that good was good and bad was bad. And it is a fantasy. Star Wars at the beginning, it's a space fantasy. It's a fairy tale. It's not even like it's science fiction. It's science fantasy. Mm-hmm. So it was never based on reality anyways. Reality had nothing to do with Star Wars. It was a complete and utter fantasy. There were no political, like underpinnings. There was no agenda. There was none of those things. It was just kind of a good versus evil kind of simple movie, and that's why it succeeded. So the thing is, we do live in a gray area. We do live in a time where everything's propagandized, where Hollywood is definitely have an agenda and stuff like that. So what could be more refreshing is if Star Wars actually reflected the original ideals, the original concepts, the original tones. Would that not work as good as it did then now? Like, could it not be... You know what I mean? Like you get to see a very simple, straightforward, good versus evil storyline.
That was very well said. I think I do agree. I think it's very dishonest to claim like, oh, those are the morals of the time and it's just outdated. Because like you said, that's not even remotely true. You can compare all kinds of media to that and see it's not true. Because if that's the case, why weren't there a million movies just like Star Wars around that time? What made it special? And yeah, it's a very universal, it's a universal human simplified kind of story structure. And I think that's what makes it so relatable and why people in this generation still cling to those old Star Wars, that original Star Wars trilogy. So I don't even think that's true. And I do think that's kind of scary for the future of the franchise.
Good point.
Because like you said, when you let those things go, you lose the tone of what makes Star Wars Star Wars. Like, I super agree with that. So it is a little concerning that over time that seems like something they're trying to, or rather at least she's implying she's trying to distance from Star Wars, because the more you take that away, that's how you lose the magic that is Star Wars.
Exactly. You're bringing cynicism and you're bringing a gray area sensibility into Star Wars, and it doesn't exist. that is the tone, and it's so easily overlooked because of all the window dressing. But at its core, it is the hero's journey. It's the Campbell, hero's journey laid out. And I saw somebody on YouTube break it down to the hero's journey. Is it Joseph Campbell? His book. And Star Wars has every one of those beats in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that Joseph Campbell book was written just as a Star Wars outline, because Lucas hit every one of those points like a checklist.
Classic quest, yeah.
Right. And that's what the story is about. It's not about, like, oh, they abuse animals, or the rich people are selling weapons to both sides, and all those ideas that was it Ryan Johnson was bringing into the second one. I just don't think that they have a place. And as soon as I did see that scene where what is the guy that mumbles is talking, and he says
DJ something.
Yeah, he says that, silly boy, they're selling, or silly girl, they're selling both sides. No, it was both. It was Rose and Finn. Yeah. So it was like, you guys are so naive. They're selling to both sides. So meaning what? The good, the rebellion are buying and making evil people rich. Like, you know what I mean? Like that idea doesn't belong in Star Wars.
What's interesting too in the original trilogy, and by that I don't mean the prequels, but the original in continuity of being made. What's interesting is the gray area characters that you see in the course of the movie either go one way or another. They're not completely gray throughout the entire movie.
Like Han Solo.
Exactly, yeah. Like Han Solo is very, very gray as far as morality when we first meet him, and then we see him kind of lean towards like maybe he's gonna be more on the bad side, like he doesn't care, and then go full on Luke's side. So like every gray character has a purpose of going one way or another. They don't just stay gray for the sake of some kind of moral discussion.
Right. And he's inspired by Leia and Luke, because they have this unabashed, unfettered, what is the word?
Hope.
Yeah, they have this hope. They believe in it 100%. They don't falter in their beliefs. And in turn, they become the immovable force, the unmovable force. They become the ones that inspire others, to do good. And isn't that what these stories are mostly about? But anyway, I saw that about Kathleen Kennedy, and just because somebody in the chat kind of was bringing up some of the those kind of overarching, I guess that might tarnish this land, the New Galaxy's Edge land a little bit. But I choose, like Luke, to stay hopeful about it and to see this as the park that celebrates all the good that's in Star Wars. And it doesn't seem like it's getting into snarky, or gray area aspects, other than that, just like the original, where there were the smugglers that turned to be good guys. So this is, there's Smuggler's Edge, that's a ride, or Smuggler's Run, that's a ride. I guess that's the one that's open right now, right?
Yeah, and the smugglers, now that you bring them up, they really are. It's interesting because they're gray area in the park, but they're clearly good, because the smuggler stuff you run into is stuff that's helping the rebellion. Like, you get the secret, like, lightsaber stuff from the smugglers. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and so you get the idea that you're kind of, in a way, you're joining the rebellion, or at least you're helping the rebellion in some way. Even if you're, fortunate enough to be able to afford one of those lightsabers, you're kind of building a lightsaber. So if you buy into the storyline, you're buying into that you're going to be a Jedi. You're going to help the rebellion, stand against the oppression. So I don't know. I like it. You want to go into...
yeah. Putting the franchise aside and onto the theme park stuff.
Yeah.
So... I got this article from Entertainment Weekly, and it says, Mark Hamill, Billy D. Williams, Harrison Ford, and George Lucas opened Disneyland's Star Wars Land, which that's not what it's called, to its first guests. And that was yesterday. So, some familiar Star Wars heroes helped launch the new Galaxy's Edge theme park attraction at Disneyland. Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Billy D. Williams, and Star Wars creator George Lucas were among the luminaries who helped cut the ribbon on the 14-acre fantasy world meant to bridge our planet and the galaxy far, far away. Here's the guys. Mark doesn't look very happy.
George, he looks proud. I wanted to say he looks grumpy, but I think that's pride.
And Billy D just looks happy to be there.
Yeah, he might be drunk. I don't know, for some reason, since he had the Colt, what was it, 45 or whatever they were called, the beer commercials. I remember those of my youth, and for some reason, I always see like Billy D as like, you know, he likes the alcoholic beverage.
He looks like he might, partaken of the blue milk.
Spiked blue milk.
Ooh. On a stage set up outside the life-size Millennium Falcon that rests in the center of the Rocky Mountain town of Black Spire Outpost. This writer has some really weird word choices. It's just me. The Rocky Mountain town.
It's a little awkward, yeah.
The town of an outpost. Luke, Han, Lando, and the man who brought them to life, their father, welcomed the first crowd of guests to the planet Batuu. First up, Disney's chairman and CEO Bob Iger welcomed Lucas to speak to the crowd, who invoke the name of the long-ago Star Wars ride at Disneyland by calling Galaxy's Edge Star Tours on steroids. Would you like to see that video?
Yes, please.
All right.
I want to see the steroids. I want a blue blazer like George. That's very stylish.
I like it.
Yes.
Classy. Look at the size of this.
Yeah.
Well said. That's quite a promise there.
Yeah, it will change my life. It already kind of has.
Then Williams, Billy D, made an appearance talking about Lando Calrissian's long history with the Falcon and taking pride as her original owner.
Should we get a snippet of this?
Let's see.
Aw.
Aww.
Yeah. All I have to say is they better not kill him in the new movie, or after that, I am going to be so mad. He seemed like so sincere about it.
Apparently, these videos are making our stream buffer, so I'll keep them small to try to reduce.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about that as well.
We have no reason to believe they won't kill him. Oh, he's an old character in a new movie. Death.
So we'll keep Mark Hamill small to see if we can preserve it.
This is inconceivable. because it'll never be surpassed. And yet, look at where we are today. We get our own land. Star Wars for me has always been the gift that keeps on giving, and the reason is because of you. Your parents tell you not to speak to strangers, and everywhere I go, people treat me like I'm family. And the stories they tell me, they're personal stories of seeing Star Wars, or reading the books, or playing the games, or watching the animated series, whatever it is. They're so personal and so heartfelt. You got me through troubled times. I was going
Okay, because of the buffer, and we should move on. But you kind of get the hint and the feeling of what Mark Hamill. And so, did Harrison Ford speak, or did he just was he just there for the awards?
I believe he did speak. I thought that he was, apparently our stream keeps shutting offline, so I'm going to reboot here and see if we can get this.
Yeah, you speculated that there's a lot of streaming from that park right now, so maybe YouTube is getting a little nutty.
Yeah,
a little inundated.
We'll try to keep this up and running because our output is a little bit low.
So is it just lagging, or is it buffering, like where it's just going blank?
It keeps going blank, apparently. We, come on. Our stream went offline briefly.
So we're still live, right? I hope.
There we go. Okay. Our output's a little low, so I guess we'll keep reading the article and see if we can get this.
Yeah, let's go back to the article, because we do have more video that we want to show you. But
back up to snuff here.
Yeah, but we got to work within the confines of this technology.
Which sucks, because we have a lot of videos
cool
like this that we want to show you, but who knows if we will be able to get through that. So, finally, Iger called the Millennium Falcon to fire its engines, but the old machine wouldn't turn over. He asked if anyone in the crowd knew how to fix it. That's when Ford appeared, giving the whole of the ship a good whack. He called it the late Chewbacca originator Peter Mayhew. "Peter, this one's for you," Ford said.
Aw, that's cool.
Aw. Galaxy's Edge opens in California on Friday and in Florida on August 29th. But not all the rides will be finished on opening day, as the park is opening in stages. In Phase 1, the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride and most of the shops and restaurants will be fully operational. But the other major ride, Rise of the Resistance, won't be ready until Phase 2, which Disney only says will begin later this year. So I thought that we had a date that was set for that, but apparently not, I guess.
Maybe they had, but they kept setting it back. Because their thing is they don't want to open it until, I think, is it 70 hours of continual usage before they'll sign off on it? Because the ride's done, but I think they're just trying to make sure that there's no glitches or bugs. And I think it was 70 hours. They said if the ride can run continually for 70 hours, then it passes the test.
Interesting.
So it won't break down, when they let, civilians in there.
I mean, that makes sense. So Entertainment Weekly has toured the work in progress, and we can check out for they have a bunch of pictures, and they're detailing the shop's variety of foods and more, which we already covered in videos prior to this. So,
well, you want to go to the photos? Are they photos or videos that they had?
I think it's all the articles that we checked before where they show.
So the click here, those aren't just images? Because I'm just trying to think of what we can give people in lieu of showing them videos. Oh, so it's a rundown.
Yeah, I mean, we covered this stuff before. I don't think there's any new photos and stuff. We did have videos show up. There's like a full tour that's of like the queue of the ride. It looks pretty cool. I don't know if our stream can handle it at this point.
The video itself? Or just the images?
The video, I mean.
Yeah.
But there's some really cool stuff out there right now. And this is, of course, Smuggler's Run, which is the only ride that is currently up and running. And in a video we watched, I believe they said you can ride it only twice if you're in your reservation.
Yeah, I think we had video too from Alex the Historian, and he's there live right now, and he's he's putting up videos. So don't go right now, but if you look up Alex the Historian, he has one video up of his morning trip, I guess, and I think he's live right now, reporting from Black Spire, Galaxy's Edge. And we had some video from him that we were going to show you guys, but since YouTube is being a pain, I'm not sure what to visually show them, actually. Because I was thinking, that video with the fireworks, they have to have that. I wanted to show that, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if our stream can handle it, unfortunately, because we really had a lot of very good video to show you guys, but I don't know if they're going to pull it. But I will check our stream health. There's like a lot of people, our stream health is still pretty bad, that have been getting some pretty steady, good footage of everything. And it's pretty cool because the park looks like it's crowded, but not unreasonably so at this point because it's limited.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, they have wristbands. And so you have to... It is open to the general public today, but you had to have reservations, and I believe the reservations are for certain days to go into the park. And also with the wristbands, you have 4 hours in Galaxy's Edge. I'm not sure how they're getting people out of there, you know what I mean, after their 4 hours. But from what we saw with, like I said, Alex, the historian, in the ride, they were checking off, they were putting a mark on his wristband for going on that attraction. So I'm not sure what that really is supposed to be for. The only thing I could think of is they check off your wristband, and then after that, your 4 hours is up. They can they can say you rode the attraction, now you have to leave. I'm not sure really how that, how they're going to enforce that.
I think you theorized early on, and they might, because it looks like people have different color wristbands, that maybe it's probably about like an hourly system, right? Like maybe people with a certain time of a certain color, so if they see you with like a green wristband, they know that you're one of the group of people that has to leave by 3:30 or something.
Yeah, and then maybe the check mark is to make sure that maybe you can't ride the ride again because you're at a limited amount of time, so maybe they're only giving one ride per window for the attraction. I'm not really sure what that was, but you saw that, right? They just had a marker and they marked it across his wristband.
Yeah, that was interesting. James Hay says, Art and Tag need to go and cosplay and make long videos to upload. It could be fun, but I can't remember Disney's rules on cosplaying.
I don't think they're letting people in with costumes.
But you can Disney bound.
What is Disney bound?
Disney bound is what people really into Disney do to get around the no dressing up rule, where they wear like outfits that have like really subtle like color schemes and stuff that bring to mind characters. So they're like subtly dressed up as characters, and people make like guides like, here's the Cinderella Disney bound, and it's like outfits that are normal, but when you see it you automatically know like that looks a lot like Cinderella.
So it looks like it's like civilian clothing, but it has kind of a theme of the character that you're into.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to grow a bunch of hair and start making weird sounds so I can be like Chewbacca.
Ray Thulu says, that picture kind of reminds me of Spears Cathedral of Light in Nuremberg.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty amazing to me.
Surreal.
Yeah, some of the video footage we had, not that I'm overly tease it, but some of it's from dusk when the lights, when the sun's going down and the lights start coming on in the park. And if you've ever been to the Disney parks, it almost turns into a different park at night. And it would be cool to experience Galaxy's Edge in the daytime, but also in the evening as well. So it almost feel like a totally different experience.
Yeah, because I didn't even think about the aspects of it being, like looking different at night. So, because I know they had the lights set up and everything, but I had no idea like what to picture when it came to different times of the day. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. So what should we do? If we stay on, do you think it will write itself and we'll be able to run those videos? Or should we just run those videos and devil may care? Or what should we do?
I think we should just try. Our stream health just got pretty good, so let's take our window and let's check out some videos. Would you rather see the Smugglers Run?
Yeah, let's do this one.
Okay.
This was the one from the Orange County Register, right?
Yes, this is the one. So we're gonna take our shot here, and hopefully.
Should we just pause it more often, maybe?
Yeah. So this is what Art was talking about, that nighttime shot.
Okay, why don't you pause it here? So this is the main entrance to the attraction, Smugglers Run.
I was trying to read what it says. Flight crew wanted.
Standby. There's the standby line. So they're kind of, I guess, trying to hide, because the one thing about these attractions is they don't have big signs out saying it's Smugglers Run or anything. And from what I read as well, even some of the storefronts, they don't tell you what it is. You just kind of have to experience it. So that's pretty cool. So there's no big signage, like a lot of the Disney rides have. This just kind of is the attraction, and I guess you just have to figure out, what these things are on your own. The one for the lightsaber, I believe they're going to give you a code or something, and that you have to find the code and then find the building, and then you can go in and build your lightsaber. So
they actually, it inspires interaction, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Let's see if we can keep going in here. I will say that first little opening does kind of remind me of Star Tours a little bit.
A little bit. So now you're right behind the Millennium Falcon.
And this looks like the video took place right after that ceremony, possibly. Unless it's always lit up like that. I don't know.
I believe it's always going to be lit up like this.
Pretty cool.
On the next shot, why don't you pause it? Yeah. So there's the engines. And from what I hear, and this is why I wanted to play the video with Bob Iger and the ceremony, is he said they fire up the engines. So what I've read, the engines will fire up periodically when you're walking around.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure how they visually do it, but if it's frequency based, I'm sure that you're going to feel the sound or the engines, which is pretty cool.
I like that idea.
So there's a lot of canisters. You can see that they're loading stuff onto the Millennium Falcon. A lot of cargo. So this is the interior. Now you're getting deeper into the queue.
And it looks like there's multiple sections like this, right?
Yeah, little themed areas.
And you can see...
Pause it. Ooh, look at that. So it looks like they give you little vantage points of the Millennium Falcon. Look at the tower. Man, this is all engineered. You can see it in that frame. That's almost as if you were framing a movie or a comic book. You know what I mean? Just out that window, it's perfect composition.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. This guy's footage starts out a little shaky from his movement, but it's pretty good overall. He got some good shots, like this one.
So now let's pause it.
Let's wait till he gets
yeah, it's upstairs. This looks like the same area, but you're up higher. So this looks like an engine of some sort. Weren't they getting these engines and doing the pod races with them, right?
That's what they look like. They really look like those big pod racing ones.
Let's pause it again. I'm not sure if it's in this video, but one of the videos that we saw, the engine fires up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm sure that they do a frequency thing too with sound, so I'm sure it shakes the room. And then I think it moves and vibrates the engine itself. But look, it's on these supports, or what are these things? It's clamped in place. So I don't know. It looks like they're testing a new engine for something.
Next section of the
queue. Look at that. Let's pause it right.
I was waiting to see if he'd turn moving more, but it looks like he doesn't.
Maybe he might the next.
He better.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Barely.
So this is that little curved building that's just behind the Millennium Falcon. So they give you a vantage point of it. And somebody pointed out those awnings. The reason those awnings are pretty cool, design-wise, is they also limit your view of the park. So I didn't see it, but one of the YouTubers were commenting that if you kind of squat under it and look up, you can see kind of the skyline of the Disney park, the rest of the park. So the reason these are in place is so at a glance you can't see the rest of the park, which is pretty cool to keep it immersive.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I think the most you could see from the view was like a piece of Big Thunder's like rock work or something.
Yeah, and it actually kind of strangely
Worked.
works with the Black Spire.
Yeah, it really did. So you don't see anything that breaks the immersion once you're there, except for that lady wearing Disney ears. Lady, you're at the like press premiere. What are you doing?
And the Dodgers jersey. Ooh, here we go. Pause.
All right.
Not
Not on the blurred shot.
There we go.
Okay.
So this is I think the last part of the queue just before you go on to the Millennium Falcon. And what I can never say his name. Anaku?
Honda Onaka.
Yeah, Anaka. And so he's your smuggler boss, I guess. So he's going to give you a spiel and recruit you to make a smuggler's run for him. Yes. So that's not a robot, you guys. That's a real human being right there. So it's a guy in a costume, and he talks to you. No, that's a robot.
I mean, I could just as easily believe that was a guy in a costume because look at his movements.
This is crazy Westworld stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sweet.
Even the robots, see him kind of move back and forth, kind of. Oh, look at the car.
Look at this.
There's a loading, so it's a screen, obviously, but just behind him, it's supposed to be the cargo hole, or what do you call those? Like, I guess where like a hangar.
The cargo bay.
Cargo bay,
Hangars
hangar.
are good.
Yeah, and so you see things flying about and stuff like that, and we've kind of teased what else is going to be back there, but let's just play it.
Well, James says, I hate the wristband thing. Buying a ticket makes you feel like an Amazon employee with electronic work bracelets that will punish you for taking too long in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, for now, they're just doing it because the reservation-based thing. I don't think this is going to be a regular.
Yeah.
I hope not, anyway.
No, it won't be a regular thing. They said it's just going to be the summer months, I believe. But somebody speculated that actually, as weird as the wristbands seem, it might actually be a better time to go than when they ditch. Okay, wait. All right, you got to move it back a little bit. Can we do that? Okay, you guys watch. Okay, now play it. Watch this light stream across the top of
Ooh.
Okay, that's an opening of a docking door, and watch. Look at that. Look at pause it. It's the Millennium Falcon flies in. That's so cool. I'm sorry, man. That's cool. And look at like the screen around the screen. There's dirt and debris to make it look more like it's used and lived in. So darn cool. Look at this.
The first time we watched this through, we were
Look
in
at that.
silent awe.
Yeah, pause it. Boom. There's the Millennium Falcon, you guys. I was wondering how they were going to load you into it. And so the cool thing is it actually flies to you. So you see it on the outside, and then you get the idea, theater of mind being what it is. And probably those screens are going to illustrate it flying around. You know, do you see the screens on the side of Honda? And then the door closes and goes dark again.
I was hoping he'd zoom out because I know he does. Because those screens are actually, they're pretty cool. They look very in universe.
Yeah. And they're not supposed.
Yeah,
there's the screens, and so there's Chewbacca in there. So I believe that the schematics and things that you saw, because they were rounded, they were probably the Millennium Falcon flying around to this hidden entrance or whatever it's going to be.
Ray Thulu says the Hondo animatronic is 1,000 times more expressive than Brie Larson.
That's true. She is kind of robotic.
What if she is an animatronic?
Ooh, okay. There's that schematic. So what? Maybe that's the destination you're going on?
Yeah, maybe.
I can't make it
It
out.
looks like, is this the tower and then this is the bay that you walked into?
Maybe some kind of underground, like maybe this is like a secret location or something that you're in.
Yeah, let's see if it zooms in. Oh, well, he zoomed in before I could see it, but... And then you get these. I don't know if this is just for the people that are first run.
It might be your assignments. So, like, one's the gunner, one's the pilot. You know, because it looked like... Because, like you said, the people that work there are going to have to assign those positions, right?
Yeah, because if they let you choose,
Oh my gosh, pause it.
it would be mayhem.
You're actually in there, man. This is... I'm sorry. I'm kind of starting to geek out a little bit. If this was the 16-year-old, 17-year-old, I was probably 15, 16-year-old Art when that first movie came out, I would be pooping my pants right now.
These are the terminal things. They're pretty cool looking.
I would be mowing a billion lawns to try to get money to go to this park. But from what I think some of the other shots that we've showed on Walt's Vault, there's the blast shield that Luke uses and the little what is that? That little orb that he fights. So I think this is showing how it works, right?
Yeah, he kind of gives you your marching orders for the gunners, the engineers, and the pilots.
So that, believe it or not, is Brie Larson in in prosthetics.
She was killing it in this. I was really surprised.
Yeah, she stepped it up.
She really brought it. James Hayes says they will put a robotic Brie Larson in the inevitable, or will they put a robotic Brie Larson in the inevitable MCU park?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate.
Is the MCU park really inevitable? I don't know.
It is. They're building it now.
Do we know that for sure?
I do.
Well, then I guess it is.
They're building it where Bugs Land used to be in California Adventure.
Good, I hate that place.
There's not much to do.
What were they
I hate
thinking?
when they neuter bumper cars. Like, what's the fun if you can't really slam into somebody?
Yeah, like if you're gonna make a bumper car, make a bumper car.
Okay, so now you're going into the cockpit. Look at
This
this.
guy has the best job.
Yeah.
Do you think this woman with the LA jacket is someone famous? Because the guy that's with her looks like a bodyguard. He's wearing a suit and he has an earpiece.
Yeah, the earpiece?
Yeah, he had like a little earpiece.
Ooh.
It's very black and white. Oh, and then they're going to show us a little bit of the ride here.
Okay. So maybe that's where they flew in, right? So you're flying out of it and you fly over the park itself.
Wait a minute. Is that a second Millennium Falcon?
No.
It looked very similar in shape.
So
it's something different.
that's that thing that flew in, but just before you did.
Oh, okay.
When you were in the cargo or loading in.
And as a pilot here, you can bump into things. Like,
They're not shooting at any...
are they shooting at their other ship?
Yeah, why would you... They're just like goofing off like, let's see if this works.
Let's all try spinning. That's a good trick.
Let's just kill some innocent people.
You hit someone else's ship as they're coming out. They really are just kind of wildly...
Are those TIE fighters?
I think they're missing... Whoever pilots this...
Wait. Pause it. So there is some kind of cargo thing that maybe you have to get back? Because I saw that in the graphics. Do you see that thing that's flying around? Are you trying to retrieve that?
I don't know. I don't know what the actual goal is because you are right by that thing. It seems like throughout the whole ride.
But you're following that whatever that little ship was, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. It seems like it's present throughout the whole of the ride, like in front of you, almost like you're chasing it or something. He just hit the wall.
And then you accidentally
The pilot
shoot it.
just...
Oh, again.
The pilot just jacked up. He keeps hitting all the barriers.
Why are you shooting that? It looks like a...
Yeah.
It's just a box.
I'm
What is
confused.
it doesn't even have wings.
It is. It's just a container.
It's a There's another.
It does
It's
little things on
flying.
top.
It's like a drone that's flying those containers.
It's
Okay. It's like a train.
This is like Centipede, but complicated.
It is like Centipede, so you can whack the little body segments.
I want to see how we pilot this thing because this guy keeps hitting all the... No! This guy keeps hitting all the walls of it, and it's like frustrating, but at the same time, I don't know if I could do a better job.
All right, move it forward again. We already saw this part. All right, this is more like it. Yeah, so you might be right. It's kind of like a centipede, but I don't know why you're blowing up cargo containers.
Unless somebody stole a shipment from you, but you're not picking them up. You're just kind of knocking them off the...
Well, the Millennium Falcon isn't really known for like a weapon. It's more like it brings things to a destination.
Yeah, it's a freighter. We may be finding holes in the premise of this ride.
Or it might be figuring out what the premise of the ride is. I'm pretty sure you're gonna make a destination with some kind of cargo. But from what I hear too, every one of the adventures isn't gonna be the same. So, you might be doing different adventures. You coming back black into Black Spire.
Pretty cool.
Hit one of those black spires.
No. And that's an abbreviated version of the ride.
So this is the exit queue.
So thanks, OC Register.
Pretty darn cool, man. And from what I hear, Rise of Resistance is going to be like 10 times what this ride is. Because they're just, this is kind of Star Tours, 2.0 or whatever. So it's kind of the same idea with more of an elaborate queue and story idea, I guess.
So Art, once again, what do you think is going to become of Star Tours, the old version?
I believe it's going to go away. I think I don't even think they're going to repurpose it. I think it's going to go away. And what I'd like to see is some kind of hybrid between like what it was that Monsanto's Journey Through Interspace, where they shrink you. And there was a ride called, it was in the Wonders of Life Pavilion at Epcot. It's called Body Wars, and they shrink you, and then you go on an adventure into inner space, but it's like inside of a body.
I heard that ride was really cool.
Yeah, so that ride is it's exactly the way Star Tours is. So with the simulators and the cars and all the same shape and everything like that. So I think in lieu of moving those simulators out of that building and gutting it, I think they could, basically come up with a new movie and do something, maybe even Ant-Man themed or something like that, where they shrink you and you get to go on to, a micro or macro adventure.
Ant-Man's a solid choice for that, for sure.
Yeah, that would be cool. So do we have another video? Do we have some of the Alex,
We'll show a little bit of Alex's footage here. I think he's live right now as well. So thanks, Alex, for some of this footage.
Yeah, and we're trying to buddy up with Alex because he gets some killer footage.
So you can see him walking through the park. Somebody has a dog. Oh, it's a helper dog.
So what's the
on this stuff? Looks like there's let's see, when they walk past here, there's a little sales area, and it looks like they were selling some looked like a Rebel pilot gear or something, unless that was just for show.
Yeah, so they're on the Rebel side, the Rise of the Resistance side of the park, and they're coming through the Hungry Bear restaurant side. So this is more the Rebel side. And so you remember how we were saying it's weird, like some of those are on platforms? See, that one's not on a platform, but the X-Wing's on a platform. From what I hear, they're almost like little mini stages. So there's going to be like performances or actors up there, and they're going to act out, I guess, adventures or try to keep things within theme. So there's on the Smuggler's Run side, I guess, where that attraction, the Millennium Falcon, there is a Death Star transport. What do they call those? That transport vehicle.
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know what exactly they're called, but I know what you're talking about. Like it looks like the First Order troop transport.
Yeah, it's kind of X-Wing looking, but it's more of a transport vehicle. So that's built on a pedestal too, kind of like a stage. And so they did have Kylo Ren up there and some First Order stormtroopers. So that's why I think that's up like that. See how it's up higher where the X-Wing is?
Yeah, it doesn't look like you could just climb over and get to it as you see the people huddling over here.
And that right there, pause it, that's the entrance to Rise of Resistance.
Ah, this right here.
Yeah, you go under that little bridge thing.
Let's see if we get some footage beyond his head.
So there's not much to do here. So most of those people are just going to be going to the other side of the park.
There's that platform as you were talking about here.
With the X-Wing, yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And so where was that? Did we pass it already?
Right over here.
Right there, right behind those kiosks. That circular piece that's kind of on the top of the frame.
Oh, right here.
I believe that's the exit for the Rise of the Resistance.
You can get your Rebel pilot gear over here.
Yeah, you can gear up. I wonder if you could wear that in the park.
They probably won't. I don't know.
If you buy it, you should be able to wear it.
I agree. Everybody's just wearing the pilot gear walking around. You know what they'll probably say? Oh, you can't wear it because if the First Order catches you, you'll get like arrested or something.
Yeah. Don't wear it in the park because you don't want to be arrested.
Yeah, you gotta get it. Like, you gotta pick it up later or something. Although, isn't that girl right there just was Princess Leia?
She might be. She is.
Whistle blow.
Wheech! Ooh, that one woman
She's running.
She couldn't get there fast enough.
She wants her blue milk real bad.
There's a black spire right in view, right there. So the black spires are supposed to be petrified trees, right?
I think so. And is that the main black spire? Because there's like one that's specifically.
I think they say that it's in the other part of the park.
The opposite side of where we're seeing now. Everybody looks like they really want to run, but they're trying to keep
Yeah, they're moving pretty fast.
Civilized.
So now you're going into the market area.
Ooh, I don't want to skip forward because I want to see this archway that they come through.
Did you see the photo that Rob Liefeld put up of him in the park with his wife right in front of that entrance? I think I wrote, "I hate you, Rob," on his Facebook post.
It's so perfectly composed too because there's nobody else in the shot.
Yeah, because he was there in press night or whatever. He wasn't there with the working grubs.
Yeah, it looks like he's on the set of a Star Wars movie because you don't see all these people.
Oh my gosh, pause it. Look at this. That's nuts, right?
Get those balloons out of here.
Get those Disney balloons out of here. Who the hell do you think you are?
Oh my gosh.
That's nuts.
I feel like I'm there. I want to just walk through there.
Oh,
no, don't go that way.
So you can walk through there or you could take the other route.
Oh, why wouldn't I?
Actually, you guys, we've been having perfect weather right now in California.
Oh my gosh.
This would be so ideal to walk around in this park right now.
I know. It's 70 out and it's sunny and beautiful.
Wow.
They planned this.
That is pretty immersive. This is Star Wars, you guys. This is a real living, breathing Star Wars destination. Wow.
There's just enough people on this day too with the reservations that there is a crowd, but it's enough where you can see everything.
Yeah, they're speculating that, I think I said it already, that
so that's,
I think that spire right there is the one that is the spire, yeah.
And this is Ronto Roasters?
It might be, yeah. That's a good call.
We have a pretty good idea of the layout because of how many videos we've made just talking about the map.
We've been speculating on what all this stuff was even before we had any kind of confirmation.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah, just some kind of Star Wars gizmo.
There's lots of just random Star Wars gizmos about.
There's actually speeders like the one that Luke used on Tatooine. I'm not sure, but I think you can sit in it.
Alex, get out from behind this tall guy. He's not doing the footage any favors.
Yes. And pan over to the right. I want to see what that is.
I know.
What is that?
You need to...
Oh, it's a kiosk.
Oh, those were the Pepsis and stuff, or the Cokes.
The Coke.
I was hoping you'd walk up to it. It needs to be our eyes.
You need to keep moving.
No.
Keep moving this way.
She looks happy, though. She was probably working at the Pinocchio restaurant, and now she's like, hey, I'm in Star Wars.
Okay, so they're not... It doesn't look like they're... Oh, you know what? I heard they're only letting people in one way, and they're probably going to exit them out the other way. So you know how that arch, they didn't go through that arch. They were kind of moved this way. So I bet you they're going to kind of move you in one side and out the other. Because for some reason, I had heard those other two entrances are closed.
So that's why she's leading them, because they had them on a set path, so they can't be like wandering back and forth willy-nilly.
Right, and you notice no one's moving towards them. They're all moving in the same direction.
Which helps the flow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It helps the flow, and also keeping those other entrances, exits closed, they can control the flow.
Do you think they have those blocked off because maybe they show parts of like the other ride and stuff they don't want them to see quite yet?
No, I think it's for traffic flow.
Because it looks like, yeah, they're keeping them moving where they're able to see everything. And
yeah, because if they have everybody enter through the Hungry Bear area, then they can control people going in on the right side. They'll go to the attraction. They'll go up and around. They'll go up. They'll go to Smuggler's Run, and then they'll come back through the shopping area and out the same way they came.
I see this subtle Han Solo over here.
That's a little solo action going on there.
Getting away with that.
Are those droid heads hanging? Those are droid heads.
They are, yeah. Very cool.
Okay,
you're
cool.
already tuckered out over here.
Yeah, lady, come on.
Maybe you should have left Junior at home.
Wow, Taylor. I think you are. I think we're getting more and more mad at each and every one of these people.
This is dependable kid size where he can like enjoy it and remember.
Yeah. Those are restrooms. Those are Star Wars themed restrooms. Ooh, First Order. Their first hint. Ooh, and over to the right, that's that vehicle I was telling you about.
This one, yeah.
See, that's another entrance exit. Right, if you go right, that's another entrance exit. And you notice there's no one coming in through there?
There's this guy keeping an eye on the area, it looks like.
Yeah, he's keeping the flow. Because if they make a left from here, they'll be at the Millennium Falcon. So this is where the First Order is showing some influence.
Nice.
See how it's like a stage?
So you get a good view of it, and it's perfect for taking pictures because it's elevated, but people can't be climbing on it. And
it also strangely looks like a landing platform.
Yeah, it actually, you're right. It fits in universe of why it would be raised like that, which is pretty cool.
And just beyond that wall right there, Toontown.
No!
No, it is actually.
Cool backpack.
A cool backpack, lady.
That's very in theme. I like it.
Look at the spires coming in between the buildings. That's really cool.
Perfect staging.
Every one of these images when we pause is like a postcard image.
I know, it's amazing.
It's perfectly like compositioned and everything.
I'm so jealous because we've seen these things from far away for so long, and like watching it like this and feeling like we're there but not being able to like, oh, let's go this way is like torture.
Yeah, they're leading everybody. I guarantee you they're leading them to the Millennium Falcon. She's a little brightly colored.
Yeah.
Ooh, but she had cool hair. Did you see it?
Yeah,
she had very Star Wars hair.
She looked like a good Star Wars extra. That chick looks miserable.
That's the line for Millennium Falcon.
I
guarantee you that's right. Why would they be standing like that?
Yep, look, they're asking her too. They're trying to get in there.
That's why all those employees are there.
So they have the line wrapping all this. These little details are just so cool.
This is insane. In the membrane.
Man.
Oh, there it is. Through that archway, the Millennium Falcon. I knew it. It's there.
So it does like wrap around and
then, okay, pause it. Once you walk all the way past that arch and to the left will be that shopping area, that bazaar area. And I bet you it brings you back through that archway where they weren't letting people in when we first started this video. That's where they'll exit out.
So you go through here and it wraps to that probably.
Yeah, so then you get to see every part of the park, but they're kind of moving you in one direction, so there aren't a lot of people coming at you.
Looks like they're kind of keeping people in this spot so that
they are stopping you.
That way they can go up and take their picture clear of a bunch of background people, which is pretty cool.
That's a cool observation. That's exactly what they're doing.
Because everybody's kind of eagerly taking their shot, but it looks like they're letting them get right in front of it. And then...
Photo op, yeah. That's pretty nice. But I guarantee you it's going to be a free-for-all after these what are they calling the reservation section?
Yeah, you're not going to get this kind of treatment once it's a free-for-all.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see around there. Man, now that you mentioned that the weather is so perfect, ooh, that's cool.
That's a cocktail.
Yeah.
That's a bar. That's probably that bar. Did you see? It's like a martini.
Yeah, it's got like a martini decal that looks very in universe.
I'm sorry, you guys. I got overly excited there.
It's pretty cool.
There's all these doors you just want to go through too.
I know. I thought that guy's hat just said Eric, which is very funny.
It may have.
All right, come on. I wanted to skip forward, but I don't want to miss anything because it looks like it goes around.
Eric. Is that from the 70s show?
I'm going to skip forward a little bit. It looks like they start moving.
They're definitely keeping, like, it's almost like you're in a party because it's the same people that are in front of him through the whole thing.
Yeah. So, does that take you to the restaurant?
I think it takes you to Smuggler's Run. I think all of this is designed to take you right to the attraction. Because look, there's a line going right into the attraction.
So from here, I'm trying to see if how deep he gets in the queue.
That's exactly what it is. Look, do you see it? They're all walking into the queue.
And we did already watch most of this because we saw the nighttime view, which is probably a better view than we're going to get in most of this video. But there.
So that's where they came from. Yeah.
Oh no, the strollers.
That's not Star Wars themed.
Just to give an idea of some of the back view of some of this.
I want to rent a Star Wars like rascal, like one of those little electric cars. I wonder if they have them. They're like little hover rascals.
It's got a droid head right in the front.
Okay, yeah. Here's the queue. Started the queue. This is where we saw him get his. We saw it live where he got his wristband marked.
Yeah. Oh wait, I think it's right here.
There it is. Yeah.
He shows it off. See, they're marking them. Yeah. And I believe he said they can ride twice. Oh, they got a barcode on them as well. So I guess that's how they're keeping track.
Yeah. I don't know why they would mark you if you could go on it multiple times. It seems like they wouldn't mark you.
If you had time to ride that thing more than twice, I mean...
I think if you did, you probably wouldn't get to see too much of the rest of the park.
Yeah. So from there, it's the same queue we showed you in the nighttime shot, with just more people's backs.
Yeah. There's no evening stuff on this one, Taylor. It was something else.
No, I mean, the other video we showed is the evening shot. That's the same exact queue.
So is that all the video we have?
That is it for now, and more is going to probably continue pouring out as the day goes on and people, we're uploading their journeys.
Yeah, and we're encouraging you to go to Alex, the historian. I think he's going to be live streaming from the park all day today. And he does a pretty good, he does these histories of the Disney park. And they're pretty all-encompassing. And they're pretty detail-oriented, so it seems like he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he's very informative. We like watching his stuff. We have similar interests as far as Walt's Vault and his stuff, so, Alex, if you want to collab, hit us up.
Let's collab. We took over his thread the other day. That was pretty cool.
He was a good sport.
Yeah. I asked him, who do I have to kill to go with you today? And he read it, and he laughed. But I was dead serious, you guys.
Yeah, Alex, we mean it.
Alex, I will kill for you.
So that's the latest on Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. So reservations only, but it is general public that's allowed to go in the park now. So the press night has been done. This thing has been documented. It's officially opened. It's been christened by key Star Wars people. So, very cool.
You guys should all go see it before the next movie comes out, and it might sour your Star Wars expectations.
Let's hope not.
This will give you hope.
New hope?
A new hope.
A new hope. This park is. That's what we should call this thread. A new hope.
A new hope.
Star Wars, a new hope. Well, thanks, guys, for letting us share this stuff with you. I don't know. I'm starting to think this might have been very self-indulgent just so we could kind of feel like we went there today. and watching all these videos and everything.
It helps. It helps dull the pain.
Yeah, it helps dull the pain. That's good. Very good, guys. So thanks for letting us share with you. Have a great day. And if any of you guys have entered the park or have plans for entering the park, please in the chat let us know. And maybe instruct us on some video, or I guess email us